Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share it with your friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. We're joined by journalist Swati Goel in a few minutes of Gems of Bollywood. You will notice, viewers, that see we are bringing a lot of like-minded people, onto the program so as to expose the kind of cabal that is working behind Bollywood, to demean women, and to, sort of show women in a very, very cheap light in Bollywood. So let me just add Swati. Welcome,
Thank
Swati.
you so much,
Yeah,
Meenaji, for having me on the show.
yeah.
And
And
hello
friends,
to all the
allow me to
viewers.
brief on Swati. She's a very dynamic journalist who's been covering, gems of Bollywood, and I believe that a couple of times, I don't know how many times, her, Twitter handle has also been hacked because
Yes.
anybody who exposes anything that's realistic, I mean, they are always under the glare of the Twitter ad, and so it's happened quite a
We
few
have
times.
been subjected to many legal notices by
Yes,
powerful uh, groups in Bollywood, which we won't name. And
yeah,
also, our handle was suspended once, but we,
yes, yes, I
as in,
remember.
we countered
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and they restored it.
And she's been doing with Sanjeev. She's been doing a huge service to people because see, a lot of the people are unaware of how Bollywood distorts everything to make it so biased in many ways, not only against Sanatana Dharma, but against so many things. That even we see. For example, here you have Swati. She's a journalist. I'm a journalist. See, if you look at women in India, we are all very well professionally trained since when we are young. Our parents have pushed us, into studying well, and then we've chosen our own careers. We are not the women you see in Bollywood. Okay, we are not the
Absolutely.
women who show you slit dresses with slits, and lying in the beaches, drinking champagne, all this thing. This is another world that they create, you know and what Swati and what Kajal Hindustani and so many people like us, we are all on the same page. Different people are doing different aspects of this, exposing the dirt within this Urdu wood, more well explained as Urdu would, because they don't even want Hindi in that. You know,
Exactly.
so it's very important that voices like Swati, Swati should be heard. And also that please follow her Twitter handle so that we can this tribe, of exposing and educating the younger generation, becomes bigger and bigger, and India changes in time. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you for the kind words, Meenaji. Just one
Welcome.
question before we begin.
Yeah.
Can I lapse into Hindi at times?
Absolutely. You can do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
you're
sometimes
welcome.
when I get too passionate about the
No, no.
subject
Well, see,
I'm
the people
speaking.
usually the people who are with us understand both, and you're welcome to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what we'll do, Swati, is that we'll discuss, how women, especially young girls and young women, are portrayed, in such a sleazy manner in Bollywood, just like the songs Bidi Charai De, all these Champakali and what all songs that they make, and with Ganesh Acharya, who's now been pulled up, for asking for sexual favors of choreographers. So all these
Yes.
people trying to build a narrative to be demean Hindu women is something that we are looking at in this session. Yes, Swati.
Ji Meenaji. Uh, it's a very interesting subject and one I've never not really spoken about in public. So we are basically discussing Bollywood and women.
Yes.
So let me begin. Let me tell you the journey of, like the roots of how we came to run a handle called Gems of Bollywood. So I grew up in Ghaziabad, which is adjoining Delhi. It's a small town. It can't be, at least back then, it couldn't be called a city. So there was this cinema hall, single screen cinema hall called Manohar Talkies. So it used to show like the sleaziest of films, of that time. It wouldn't show the latest films, but like 3 या 4 साल पुराने फिल्म. तो हम लोग वहां से ही निकलते थे रोज स्कूल के लिए. तो तब मैंने एक चीज काफी नोटिस करनी शुरू की थी कि इन फिल्म्स में जैसे पिक्चर कोई भी हो, बट जो एक्ट्रेस का सबसे स्लीजी शॉट होता है ना, वो उसको पोस्टर में लगाते थे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मोहरा फिल्म, वो थिएटर पे मेरे ख्याल 3 या 4 साल के बाद लगी थी, और हम लोग कभी फिल्में देखते नहीं थे. हमारे पेरेंट्स कभी हमें सिनेमा लेके जाते भी नहीं थे, अच्छी बात थी. तो ये देखा था कि जो जैसे उस सॉन्ग में से उसका एक साइड शॉट है रवीना टंडन का, और वो एकदम प्रोवोकेटिव जैसा होता है, उसको लेके लगा रखा था, और ऐसे हमेशा ही होता था. तो जब मैंने काफी सालों के बाद वो एक्चुअली मूवी देखी थोड़ी बहुत, then I realized कि it's not like Raveena Tandon only has this particular, existence in the film, that of being a busty woman, seducing somebody. She actually had a role. She was playing a journalist. Then slowly I also realized that the women, especially on the posters, were always shown as crowd pullers. They were used as crowd pullers, no matter what their role in the film was. In fact, they could be playing substantial roles. और आपको पता है स्मिता पाटिल ने एक बार एक इंटरव्यू में कहा था, शायद बाजार फिल्म थी, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. तो पूरी फिल्म एक आर्ट मूवी जिस तरह कहते हैं ना, वो थी, बट उसका एक पर्टिकुलर शॉट था जिसमें शी इज टेकिंग अ बाथ. तो उसमें उसने थोड़ा सा मतलब थोड़ा शोल्डर उसके एक्सपोज थे, पर उसी सीन को लेकर उसको पूरा पब्लिसाइज किया गया मूवी को. So what this tells us is that women may play strong characters in the film, and I'm talking about the past at least. अभी हम present पे भी आएंगे, लेकिन उनका जो crowd puller उनको यूज किया जाता था सिर्फ उनको as sex objects दिखाकर, right? So we can't say कि बॉलीवुड उस वक्त कोई बहुत empowering था women के लिए, या फिर उनको बहुत अच्छी लाइट में प्रस्तुत करता था कि फिल्में they could be props or whatever, but then there had to be like a romantic song which could be used on the posters. तो मुझे बहुत बुरा लगता था. और देखिए मेरा तो बचपन इन चीजों से खराब हुआ भी, क्योंकि जब इस तरीके से पोस्टर्स लगे होते हैं तो जो लोग उनको खड़े होकर ताकते हैं उन पोस्टर्स को, वो लोग वही हैं जो बाद में हमको स्कूल के जाते वक्त छेड़ते भी थे. जैसे आजकल एक बना हुआ है कि जो लोग मंदिर जाते हैं वो लड़कियां छेड़ते हैं. ऑनेस्टली मैं किसी को सर्टिफिकेट नहीं दे देती कैरेक्टर का, क्योंकि मतलब बचपन में तो याद आ रहा है कि काफी सारे लोग ठीक नहीं थे, राइट? मतलब वी फेस सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट ऑल द टाइम. अभी तो खैर सिचुएशन ऐसे भी काफी इंप्रूव हुई है स्मॉल टाउन्स में, बट एक्चुअली मंदिर जाते हुए तो ऐसा नहीं, मंदिर के पास गुजरते हुए तो नहीं लगता था कि कोई अचानक से बहुत सारे लड़के टूट पड़े हैं आपके ऊपर, लेकिन ऐसे थिएटर्स के सामने निकलते हुए जरूर डर लगता था, बल्कि हम बहुत दूर से लंबा रूट लेकर बच के निकलते थे. तो ये
here Swati, I just say the same thing in English. So what Swati is basically saying is that see,
Okay.
when you're in the temple, the misconception is that, see, you can be teased in a temple, which is the wrong conception, because see what's happening, theaters put the most sleazy images of a heroine, which could be only a split second scene in the movie, showing her half naked or whatever. And what happens is the repercussions of this actually hit you when you're just normal women walking in the streets, or young girls walking in the streets, and become a target of eve teasing. So look at the impact of what these people do. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of shaped my my impression of what Bollywood is and how women are portrayed in Bollywood. And till date it has it kind of only got worse over time. For instance, see, first of all, the beginnings of Bollywood, the kind of women who used to work in Bollywood didn't come from what kind of families they came from. In fact, a lot of them were into prostitution, and it's an open secret, right? I mean, though I don't hold it against the industry as such, but that's how it started. And over time, the portrayal has been anything but, let's say, giving an ambition to women in general. Actually, the only ambition it gives to women is to become sex objects, become desirable to men, and do anything to like run away from home for love, and as if love and marriages are your only goals in life.
Yeah.
So all that is, I mean, pretty much sums up what Bollywood has been trying to sell the women. Because see, the proof of it is that women who are or girls, who watch a lot of movies, or let's say who don't really have a real ambition, they tend to be on Instagram, posting these short videos of themselves, clad in like short skirts and trying to dance like Noora Fatehi or whatever. I don't even know the names of the current actresses. So, like, it's like, as a small town girl, you're like, that shouldn't be your ambition, right? I mean, you have so much to do, but just kind of being objects of desire and entertainment. Actually, when we say objects of desire, it's actually object of entertainment, because that's how Bollywood uses you. So this is pretty much Bollywood has been
Yeah.
doing
We
to
are
women.
actually, see,
Now
Swati,
it's just this one
yeah,
point
what you
more.
said.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
making
what you
3 or
said.
4
Just
movies
let me
on
interrupt you a
women.
little bit. Yeah, a little bit here.
Yes.
See, what Swati you said is very true. Because, see, as a child, see, when my great grandfather and my grandfather were very famous writers, and as a child, my ambition was, to write. And I used to visualize my grandfather or my great grandfather with a pen, sitting and writing every day. So
Yeah.
at that time, that was my ambition. So similarly, you would have had your own ambition. The, every girl in this world has an ambition, and the ambition is not to be a woman who's undressing in a Bollywood movie. So there are other
Absolutely.
aspects to life. Yeah.
In fact, see, the milestones for women in film industries have been very, sort of shady and objectionable. For example, a milestone in the movie film industry happened when this particular heroine wore a bikini. Or, a milestone in the cinema would be when she kind of danced very provocatively, for example, in Bidi Jalaile or some such
Yes.
song.
Yes.
Or Helen is considered, okay, fine. I mean, she's a great dancer, that's all right. But I'm just saying, these are the kind of milestones that, we have, like, Bollywood often boasts about. And even till date, like, there is there was this headline that Swara Bhaskar has become the first woman in Bollywood to do a masturbation scene. I
Yeah.
mean, is this the kind of standard? Can you imagine it for any other
Yeah.
industry?
Achievement.
Uh, yeah, why are these achievements, and why shouldn't we then call this industry, uh,
Yeah.
I mean, why should it be given such
In
serious
fact,
names as, like,
in fact,
cinema and
Swati.
art? It's just,
Yeah.
and if you're
Yeah. In
calling
fact,
it
Swati.
entertainment,
Yeah.
it's a soft
Yeah.
porn. Yes, please.
So in fact, Swati, last few days I've just been looking at Sri Devi's daughter Janvi Kapoor. Now
Hmm.
she's done a lot of plastic surgery because she was a very slim girl. Now she's a very voluptuous woman, and she's now started dressing like Kim Kardashian. Okay, who is
Is it?
known to wear very few clothes and pose and show her curves. Now this young girl must be hardly in her 20s, and she's already started
Yeah.
acting like these women. Now, what is her claim to fame? Not even one single movie that was a hit. Okay, she's riding on her father's shoulders, and knowing Boni Kapoor, we know that he makes all kinds of stupid movies, So I don't think
Yes.
she's ever going to climb that high anyway, So yeah, back to you, Swati.
Actually, this has always been disturbing to me. How women in cinema who are massive influencers, they often and very easily go for these plastic like surgeries and kind of all these
Silicon fillers.
artificial means to enhance their what to call, like, body parts.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like, right now there is a rate. I can't even name one actress who hasn't got this lip enhancement surgery, whatever you call
Yeah.
it, right? मतलब,
Yeah.
तो मोटे मोटे से हो जाते हैं, whatever. Like there is not even a single actress who is probably not done it. I mean,
Yeah.
right from even Aisha Takia, who actually
Yes.
had very the full lips, as people say, she also got one. I so I mean, when you're talking about, let's say, they love to talk about like this caste discrimination, right? You are privileged, you have it, which others can't have. But when women in entertainment or like cinema industry get all these plastic surgeries done, and they're massive influencers, as I said, isn't it very dishonest of them to kind of portray standards of beauty which can't be achieved through natural means, right? And secondly, it needs a lot of money. It's
Yeah.
okay for me. It's kind of mocking the women who can't afford it. I understand grooming. I also understand workout and kind of fitness, working on your body. But when you go for all these mandate, and like right now it seems like it's a mandatory qualification to do movies, even if you are stuck, even if you are started. So I personally believe, let's see, why am I questioning this is because they constantly portray themselves as an industry that gives fair chance to women and equal chance to women and where women have flourished, right?
Yeah.
This is how they often portray the industry.
Yeah.
In fact, they, yeah, I mean, pretty much that. So I am quite opposed to presenting these women as
Yeah.
icons when they can't even, like accept
Yeah.
their their what their
Body
looks,
parts.
their looks. I mean, they could work again. I mean, they could work on fitness and other things, but like altering the way you look, that's kind of very dishonest. And
See,
in
another.
every kind of, in
Yeah.
every award ceremony or in every, like Hindustan Times will have 20 under 30 under 30 kind of a thing or whatever, or any other publication, or some such youth awards. So like you'll find plenty of these young actresses, as part of it. Even Janvi Kapoor, for that matter, was chosen as a youth icon by Hindustan Times in its HT Summit. So, and I mean, why don't these people, even question such means?
See,
I mean, at
another
one
thing.
point of time, they constantly say, accept
Yeah.
yourself, be yourself, just.
See, another thing is also, Swati, how the girl is portrayed in movies. For example, now all these girls, see, earlier we used to have Helen and Bindu and all play the role of vamps. So the heroine was more
Yes,
chaste and sort of pure. But now what has happened is more and more they have pushed the boundaries where the heroines are supposed to strip and, look like vamps. And what has happened is in the process, see, you're looking at every movie needs to have item girls, okay? And these item girls are usually the heroines. And what happens is the scene shows men throwing money at her, lewd, lewd gestures and all that. Recently, just a few days back on the in the news channel, you would have noticed women were trafficked. They were kept in closed underground places where they
mm,
are used for these kind of things, which means dancing to the tunes of men wearing lewd dresses. So don't think that it is only restricted to Bollywood viewers. This is getting translated into reality. And our young girls are being trafficked and taken underground, and they are being held hostage and forced to do this very dances that you men folk are laughing at. They could be your daughters, and I was looking
absolutely.
at this news item where these girls, poor girls, they were covering their faces and coming out. What was their guilt? They were kidnapped and brought in. They were trafficked and
Yeah.
brought in. And thank you to all these Bollywood, what do you call all these Urvashi Rotela, Mauni Roy. Thank you for actually spreading this message that this is what you should do to get men.
That's true. And Meenati, first of all, let me address that point which you talked about, earlier films portraying a sort of very chaste woman, like role and image. First of all, it was also a make-believe thing. I mean, the women who portrayed those roles weren't so in their real life. They actually did more harm than good to, like, the image of women in general in society. Because first of all, they set unbelievable standards for
Yeah,
chastity also, and for, for what a good woman is, right? And why I strongly criticize that kind of image is because the women themselves, like let's say the actress Newton, she was a very fashionable woman in real life. In fact, she broke all the, like she was far ahead of even the Bollywood actresses of that time. I mean, if you read about her, she was flamboyant, she was very fashionable. So there is a disconnect because okay, you get money and you are portraying a certain role, which you are, and you aren't reading like leading that life in your real life. But for the women in general, you're portraying, as I said, unbelievable standards of, what a good woman is. And let's say for a small town girl like me, when I was young, although I mean I grew up in 90s, so it wasn't like I was watching Newton movies, but still. Uh, so this forms a great problem, for girls, because then they're expected to follow kind of those kind of things also. Uh, but you can't really do anything in life, if you uh, were that woman. So I first of all very strongly criticize all that portrayal, even if we think some of us like to believe that okay, she was portraying a good
और
character.
सास भी
Yeah,
कभी बहू थी.
वो भी काफी डिसऑनेस्ट है, क्योंकि आपने मतलब वैसे मैंने कभी शो देखा नहीं, इसलिए मैं ज्यादा कह नहीं सकती, लेकिन ये है कि खैर आप सी उसमें तो हम बाद में बात करेंगे. I mean, my elder sister, she is forced to watch some serials because some women, you know, in her family do. So she says that all these serials have made her life horrible, but we'll talk about it probably later. Again, that's because, you know, writing a character is very easy, but living that character, especially when you are yourself, like leading a very different kind of life, like the writer who is writing that role. So you're basically like harming a lot of real people on the ground, you know. Anyway, so and I'm sorry, what, like after this point you talked about,
Yeah.
yes,
So
you
what I
talked
was
about
saying is that
trafficking and stuff.
reality
See,
is
isn't
reality is when you're actually carrying these vamps out to reality and making our young girls, you know, innocent young girls, vamps.
Yes. See, in fact, isn't it strange that a lot of women who run away from home, or like even Kangana Ranaut ran away from home, right? Like, and like go to Mumbai to become an actress. Many of them end up in brothels, dance bars. Now, I think dance bars are not legal, or maybe they are. But at one point of time, many of them landed in, such kind of places where they were forced to kind of sell
Swati,
flesh for a living.
here, I'll just interrupt you. See, when I was in UAE, I was in UAE for a long time, and
Is it?
I had
Okay.
gone to Fujairah to visit a friend. You know, he was, you know, a principal of a school, and we were good friends. And I'd gone with my son and my husband. So he said, "Let's go and have lunch." You know, so normally, what would you expect? You will go to a small Indian restaurant or some other restaurant in Fujairah and have lunch. Now, what happened was he took us to a dance bar.
Okay.
Now, I didn't expect it. Okay, when he opened the door, I saw a lot of girls sitting in one corner, and these Arabs and the other Indian men, you know, throwing lewd looks at them, and they were dancing and singing. And suddenly, when I walked in, I was the only woman who walked in. They all froze, you know, and I froze. I mean, what am I doing here? You know, and
Yes.
I just opened the door and I just walked out. I mean, I couldn't bear to see, you know, women being humiliated in this manner, and all young girls, you know, could be your daughters. You know, I mean, that was one scene I will never forget. And let me tell you, Swati, the dance bars in UAE were sponsored, or what do you say, patronized and paid by one of the top parties in India.
By the one of the
Top parties.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
understand.
I'm not surprised.
So through middlemen, of course. So that is another story. I mean, trafficking is done by political people with
Yes.
underworld,
Yes.
and UAE is a center for that.
Oh, very, very interesting and very shocking, actually.
Yeah.
See, what I meant also, like just to elaborate on my point, isn't it very amusing or actually very disturbing that the city that, you know, that we call Tinsel Town because people go and become so-called celebrities, it also houses like one of the biggest brothels in the
Yes.
country, or it was there that the dance bars flourished. So what happens is a lot of people, like we only know about people who kind of appeared in movies, right? And even in small roles. But we don't know about the massive number of people who went to Mumbai to chase these dreams but ended up in these industries. Because
Yes.
first of all, but like, you may like to, let's say, dress up, this profession by words like acting or, performance. But the truth is, especially women, I mean, a lot of them only go as pieces of meat. Like, this is how I look. This is how I look wearing this dress, or, just pout more, or look at your hair, or, your thighs too thin, or I mean, isn't it? This is how auditions are conducted. I mean, I'm not talking about the Star Kids, because their auditions actually appear on YouTube also. But usually, and these are stories which women themselves have told the media and, and in public. So this is what the, like, so this is how it treats women. I mean, what my point is, we only look at, let's say, some of the Star Kids or some women who might have made it big in the industry, despite not being a star kid, right? But we don't know about the massive number of women who went there and kind of ended up in these industries. Why? I mean, why is it so? I mean, do women in corporates who are not successful end up in dance bars? Do women, let's say, in media? I mean, if women don't excel in media or kind of don't become successful in media industry, do they end up in dance bars? So what is it with Bollywood that women who go there end up in this industry? Because
See,
I am saying it with
I
full
remember these all
responsibility
girls.
that it's
Yeah,
also kind of a B in,
yeah,
like a B industry, like an allied industry,
yeah.
because you have brokers who are promising you roles in films, but then these are also the people who offer you
Mhm.
then other may make you other offers in the name of how will we survive and
Yeah.
just do this, eventually
Also,
we'll get a
Swati,
film and all that.
yeah. Also, Swati, things have changed in the past, in the after what's happened in the past, because now there are a lot of things that have entered the market, as in synthetic drugs,
Oh
alcohol,
yes,
and what happens is blackmail. So once you're blackmailed, I mean, there's no way, no escape for you, because if they have clips of you, then you are their slave forever.
absolutely, Meenaji. And again, I mean, what you just said kind of made me a little emotional and disturbed, because I covered these cases of, men trapping women for religious conversion. I mean, this is a subject I report a lot about. And, I think 90% of these cases involve men blackmailing women with sexual pictures. And I don't understand why. Actually, I do. I mean, like you would blame the woman. I mean, people like to promptly blame the women. Why did they agree to getting clicked, in those moments, even if you formed a relationship? But the truth is, women really don't know much, because most of them haven't stepped out, haven't interacted with the world, and they don't. And a lot of them, I mean, a lot of these victims also don't have a great relationship with their parents, or
Yeah.
even the parents aren't kind of great at parenting. They don't tell their daughters, the kind of things that they might be subjected to if they go out unattended, or let's say all the dream for these girls is just to get married and go to a family they're familiar with. So what happens is, because these women are so unaware, right, and they're so naive, so they just go with the flow. So, and I'll tell you of a case. There was this woman who got raped, and she also got filmed. And she later on filed a case against the man, and he's arrested. In fact, yesterday I covered a case in which the woman committed suicide because she was, too ashamed to even go to the police about this. Anyway, there's this woman who survived. So she told me that, Didi, I didn't know what sex is. I didn't know what like, you understand, like the intimacy thing
Yeah.
is. So I was just going with the flow. So I
Yeah.
was just noticing his every step, and I was
Yeah.
so kind of shocked, or what do I say? I don't know what word to use, but
Yeah.
everything was so new to her that she
Yeah.
didn't even realize that the guy was taking or clicking their pictures. In fact, she even enjoyed it
Yeah.
at a moment, because she liked to watch, what had just happened. So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to say that it's very easy to blame women, but women are naive,
Yeah.
especially when they haven't
Yeah.
seen the world. And most women in this
Experienced it.
industry also start early.
Yeah.
Like, they will, like Angna Ranot also was, she told the media she was just 17 when she decided to go to Mumbai, and many other girls. In fact, even these star kids, if despite knowing that they'll have a short chance of getting a movie, they start very early. I was watching an Alia Bhatt interview the other day. So the first audition for a film she gave was at 17. She was a minor, and she was supposed to be an actress. Like, she was supposed to be the love interest of, so to say, of somebody. I think it was for Student of the Year, and she did get that role. And in the film, and okay, it's also a surprise. In the audition, she's looking quite young, like how 17-year-old girls do. But in the film, she's not looking like that young, right?
Yeah.
She's looking like she's not looking like a child. That's also very surprising to me. I don't know how they manage it, but they do.
So here, I'd like to tell you, see a case of a lady who had, chatted with, and she said, see, it's not only Bollywood; it's also the dating sites. Dating sites are where they trap young girls. So you think that it's because it's an online site, they cannot do anything to you physically, but no. What they do is slowly, like a spider, takes you into a
Yes.
web. They
Yes.
get all your details. Then what they do is, once you're in, then they start visiting you and drugging you. And once they drug you, they get you into the room where they can make you do any sexual act at their bidding, you know. And what happens is the drugs that they give you make you oversexed. And then later, what happens is it starts making you even more masculine. And then later, you end up with cancer. So these are
Oh
the
God.
things that happen. And this lady who told me underwent all that.
Hmm.
And she's still, just getting over it, because luckily she has a husband who supports her. But all these things have happened. And do you know who are the
Hmm.
people who
Very
are
shocking.
exploiting her? The people who are
No.
exploiting her are the top politician sons,
Hmm.
top actor sons who are now top actors in the South. Yes, and all of them, they do what they want, and they throw these women like garbage.
Yes. And I think, as you rightly mentioned, it's a spider web. And once
Yeah,
you are in, you know no way out.
cannot.
And there are no helplines or there are no organizations that can help these women because the stigma is, first of all, too big. I mean, no. In fact, in a lot of cases, they don't tell the families. In fact, the families are the last people they would like to tell,
Yeah,
what has happened with them. Imagine girls committing suicide rather than disclose it to their parents. So this is also because we kind of the families also aren't acknowledging the change in the society and the kind of
yes,
crimes that are happening around us, rather
yes,
than just dreaming that your girl somehow won't be influenced by all
yeah,
these by this kind of content thrown at them
yeah,
through apps like Instagram or films. They somehow live in this delusion
yes,
that they will somehow only go to college and come back home and only study and do that. So they're not acknowledging the kind of influences a girl is
yeah,
getting from all corners. There should
yeah,
be like conversation, but of course we're talking about a lot of poor families, and
yes,
poor
yeah,
families they really don't have time for
yeah.
this because
And
the
they are
parents are
exploited by
forced
these
to go.
production
Sorry.
homes like Balaji, production homes like Kundra.
Oh God, I mean, what kind of
They are the
content
ones
they
who
are
exploit them.
producing? In fact, see, again, we are yet to, I mean, in terms of Bollywood, we focus a lot on movies, old and new movies. We haven't been, because of some resource crunch, we haven't been able to much look at these TV serials and web series and OTT platforms. But I did catch some of it on old Balaji. I don't know what they are really doing. So there was this whole series or probably an episode about a bhabi and a nana,
Yeah,
sorry, Jethani and a Devrani, like, sisters-in-law, kind of sexually exploring each other. So there is no background to it. There is no reason for
depth,
it. It just
depth to
happens.
the
Yeah.
stories. Yeah.
So basically, yes,
Also,
one woman,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
Jethani is, combing her hair, and she
mm,
suddenly puts her hand in the blouse. So I was
yeah,
like, why? And
yeah.
of course,
See,
it's meant
also,
for.
I'd like to tell you. See, there was a case. The lady had come on my show. The lady said that, see, she used to usually go. She was in TV, and she used to go with her mother to these, shootings. And once they were called to this mud island to do a shooting, and she went there with her mother, and the shooting was postponed. And then, see, then after some time, it became very late, and the girl was worried, and the mother was also worried. Then
Hmm.
somebody came to them, a well wisher. He came and said, please run as far as, get out of here as fast as you can. The intention is to drug you and
Oh
gang rape you,
God.
both of you,
Oh my
and
God.
film it, you see. And that's how they escaped. So this is a kind of, see, Swati, if you look at it deeply in Bollywood, every production house has a role to do. One grooms the women or young men, because see, men are also equally susceptible. So you groom these young men and women to become prostitutes, you know
Hmm.
or you, as you say, gigolos, or whatever you would say, who entertain
Yeah.
other men and women. And then you have other production homes which actually then start drugging. And then after the drugging, then you do the blackmailing, and then after that you do the
Yeah.
trafficking, and then you have your politician friends who you start marketing these girls to. So at every party, you will have these same girls. Like Kangana used to say, we were at parties, we didn't even know who we were talking to. Men were coming from
Yes.
all over, businessmen,
Yes.
and then you are
Yes.
marketed to men. And then after that, once your use is over, you're thrown in the road, as so many models have been thrown, and they've been seen with, what you call illness and diseases. Because once
Oh,
you're on the street,
absolutely.
anybody can use you.
In fact, Meena ji, I would like to talk about the media, the
Yeah.
Bollywood media at this
Yes.
point. So we have had this, whole a different section of media that has always
Yes.
covered films, but
Yes.
somehow it has always been so much fluff, as if they are just working as the PR team of these production houses or these stars. Let's say you open the pages of a newspaper like Delhi Times, or Hindustan Times also has a different supplement, or all these magazines. All you will find is very fluff pieces and very very positive pieces, so to say, on on an actress buying some new dress, or let's say what kind of films they want to do, or I mean some such thing. But has this media really covered the underbelly of the industry the way they should have done? Because it's been a dedicated beat. uh, in fact, it's the crime reporters who do most of the reporting in
Yes.
whatever little reporting has been done about this, as I said, this B industry, this allied industry of Bollywood, of the film industry. This is actually very disturbing, because somewhere the media, the Bollywood media, first of all, it's not journalism. As I said, they just act as PR people or agency of these production houses.
Yeah, and half the time,
That's
language is
how
also
there
not in.
has been, yeah, it's very gossipy in nature, right? So that's how there has been a total ignorance of what really goes inside the industry and the people involved. Like, we only know about the cream, like the top class, like the superstars and the big director and that famous producer. But we never really come to know the stories of the girl who didn't make it, or the spot boy who was, let's say, uh, kind of thrown out of the job on a whim, or or some such thing. I mean, there are so many people who make it big and then end up, as you said, in such shoddy conditions. So shouldn't you? I mean, shouldn't there be a genuine attempt to find out what it is? See, but I of course know why it doesn't happen, because because the industry is too powerful. No journalist would survive like this. And because they are very resourceful, they will also file like a number of legal notices, and some such cases on you. So nobody can really take on the film industry, because it like a like a mere journalist can't really do that. And of course, these big media houses won't even support it, because they need these superstars all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of times it is the newspapers, it is the media houses that are pushing these actors, these film stars as youth icons and kind of big celebrities. In fact, as far as Bollywood related media is concerned, it has always sort of, one second, one second. Can you carry on? Just give me.
Yeah. So here again, we'll just wait for her to join. So one thing I found, see, which also I think Bardhan has also said, is that, see, we were ashamed to see Disha Patni in Dubai doing a dance with as dressed as scantily as ever. Does she represent Indian women? I'm very surprised. Yeah. Yes,
See,
Swati.
first of all, it's we who claim, that they are soft power and they represent India. I mean, I refuse to be represented by Bollywood on the world platform, but of course we can't help it. But this is like, why it's just a film industry operating after Mumbai. Like, why is it called like the soft power of India? It's just that there has been a whole kind of campaign, or a whole system, being created around it for decades now, and to an extent that the people associated with it are called celebrities, right? Or I mean, kind of like, there are engineers, doctors, scientists, they're all kind of doing their job fantastic. But just because somebody appeared in a film, she or he naturally automatically becomes a celebrity, which is very sad. And all these words, who have given all these words? It's kind of been a like been a, what to say, it just kind of happened. They have done it through massive PR. They have done it through, like, as a
See,
sustained
that's what I
campaign.
said
Because,
yesterday. See, something
sorry, but
that
who started using the word star for them,
yeah.
So there,
So
somebody must
if
have
you look
started,
at
there was this
yeah,
magazine called Starglades or Stardust. And that's how
yeah,
we also very easily call them stars. Like, why are
yeah.
they stars?
See, if you look at Bollywood PR yesterday, I was just reading about Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal and what Bollywood PR said. They are very old. Actually, they see if you look at them, people would say not even middle aged, older than that couple. Okay. Now, what did they say right in the article? They wrote in the article, oh, for the first time, she's making something with her tender hands for her patni, and look
Yes.
at the way, they're appreciating each other. I mean, they're the most loving couple, people, loved couple in Bollywood, and they don't want any attention, so they're holidaying very quietly in Maldives when all of Bollywood is covering their pictures of her in a bikini and
Absolutely.
with Vicky. Now, this is all
Yeah.
what you call bull. It's all absolutely crap.
Yes.
Because, see, she's not a 20-year-old young virgin who's just got married to someone. She's been passed around like a passing of the parcel to many people,
Okay.
and she's ended up with this
Fine.
guy,
I
you
would
see.
refrain from
So,
commenting that.
absolutely something that Bollywood cannot make us believe through their, silly PR or reporters.
Hmm. See, again, I mean, okay, I wouldn't comment on that, whether she's a virgin or not, because that doesn't really
No,
matter to
no, I
me.
was
But
saying like a virgin. I didn't say she's a
okay,
virgin. I said like a virgin. What they were saying is
okay.
that she prepared food, like a young bride. So normally in India you
See,
see
all that
young
is
brides as
also
virgin.
fine, but the thing is, मतलब सारे कुकर माफ हो जाते हैं अगर एक आप छोटा सा gesture कर देते हो. For others, people set such high standards as if they should just be right all the time. They should just excel all the time, and they should be these murti of principles all the time. Like when it comes to these Bollywood folks or these celebrities, people are very frivolous, like they like, let's say for Akshay Kumar, right? We have on Gems of Bollywood, we cover a lot of his work. तो उसने जिंदगी में क्या नहीं करा, उसने ऐसे ऐसे रोल्स किए हैं कि देयर वाज दिस मूवी मनीषा कोइराला, तो शी इज अ रेप विक्टिम. सो अक्षय कुमार उस फिल्म में ये डायलॉग बोल रहा है कि जाने दो ना, माफ करो ना, जिसने भी रेप किया है आपको, तुम हो ही ऐसी कि तुम्हें देखकर तो कोई भी फिसल जाएगा.
I got
अब ऐसे, हाँ, so he has never apologized for it, and but suddenly 2 years ago he made a video कि सुधर जाओ सारे, सुधर जाओ, लड़कियों को छेड़ना बंद करो, लड़कियों के बारे में कहना बंद करो. What right do you have? तुमने जिंदगी में ऐसा क्या किया है कि तुमको ये हक है ये सब कहने का? तो क्या होता है कि I don't know why, but people don't even hold them to standards of let's say truth, or uh, like they're very, the hypocrisy shown by these people is kind somehow very acceptable, just like for politicians, like people just assume कि okay, they would be hypocrites, they उसमें मतलब इसमें क्या है, सब politicians ऐसे ही होते हैं. मतलब ये किसने कहा है? तो आप वही स्टैंडर्ड उनसे क्यों नहीं एक्सपेक्ट, मतलब क्यों क्यों करते हो? लाइक व्हाई इज इट अ नॉर्म, व्हाई हैव यू एक्सेप्टेड इट एज एज कि ये तो चलता है, राइट? तो ऐसे ही इन लोगों के लिए है, ये कुछ भी कर दे, लेकिन आकर अचानक से एक सेंटेंस ऐसा बोल देते हैं या फिर एक हलवा सा बना देते हैं, तो पता नहीं लोगों को ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि दे आर एपिटमी ऑफ लाइक वेरी गुड कैरेक्टर और कल्चर. तो ये लोगों का फ्रिवलसनेस है. पीपल शुड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इतना जल्दी फिसलना नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज द ट्रूथ इज people like easy entertainment, and it's a travesty, it's a very sad thing कि आप जब आप इंस्टाग्राम पे वो क्लिप्स देखते हैं ना, कि बस स्क्रॉल करते रहो और एक के बाद एक आपको इस तरीके से आते टिटिलेटिंग क्लिप्स आते रहते हैं. so if you are enjoying it, there is something wrong with you. मतलब ये एक तरीके से ये एडिक्शन है, ये अफीम की तरह है. उनका तो धंधा चल रहा है, वो तो बेच रहे हैं, लेकिन आप क्या कर रहे हो, राइट? तो लोगों के स्टैंडर्ड बहुत खराब हो गए हैं. अगेन एज आई सेड, पॉलिटिक्स को लेकर भी,
one thing.
इन एंटरटेनमेंट को लेकर भी.
Yeah. See, one thing, so, Swati, see, one thing, the political party, who's leading, the country, can tell, I'm not talking about any other party, the leading party that's in power should tell their politicians is that when you celebrate any success, whether it is elections or anything, don't use a woman to entertain you.
Oh
Okay,
God,
you
I know
celebrate.
you're talking
Yeah.
about these parties, right?
Yes.
Which,
Yes.
oh
Yes.
God, I
Yeah.
know.
So you celebrate with a cake or laddus or whatever you want. Don't use women. If you do that, you're thrown out of the party. ऐसा एक मैसेज मोदी जी अगर देंगे ना तो सब लोग का डेस्टिनी इज दिस थिंग इट इज रिटन
देखिए मीना
व्हाट
जी,
विल
सब
हैपन
पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी प्रिंसिपल्स पे बहुत ज्यादा टिकी नहीं होती है. देयर मेन एम इज टू विन इलेक्शंस, जस्ट लाइक प्रोडक्शन हाउसेज का मेन एम होता है टू मेक मनी. तो प्रिंसिपल्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं, बट देन व्हेन दीज पार्टीज केयर ओनली अबाउट विनिंग इलेक्शंस, दे वुडंट रियली केयर अबाउट दीज प्रिंसिपल्स. ऐसा हम सोचते हैं, लेकिन आप ये बताइए कि प्रिंसिपल्स पे लास्ट में कब किसी ने कोई पक्का स्टैंड लिया था कि यू नो
अभी तो
मतलब
है
देखिए
अभी तो
हाँ
है स्वाति अगर आप योगी जी को देखें तो खुला खुला शाहरुख खान के बारे में सब बोल रहा है तो ऐसे नहीं कि ऐसे लीडर्स नहीं है मगर यू कैन काउंट देम इन योर
चलिए
हैंड्स या इन योर फिंगर्स
ये ठीक है. जैसे गवर्नर आरिफ खान जो अभी हैं केरला के, he actually took a very bold step, right, when he stepped down from the government, or I think Rajya Sabha seat, when the Shah Bano judgment was reversed by the Rajiv Gandhi government. लेकिन अभी क्या होता है कि बहुत पीआर बिक्री, मतलब प्रिंसिपल्स के ऊपर एक्चुअली पॉलिटिक्स अभी है नहीं. अगर आप थोड़ी डेप्थ में जाएंगे तो ठीक है, कुछ जुमलेबाजी है, कुछ काफी पीआर मैनेज मामला है, लेकिन प्रिंसिपल्स के ऊपर कुछ खास बहस या डिस्कोर्स है नहीं. आई मीन ओके, आई रियली बिलीव that the political discourse right now is not really based on principles. Again, I'm not talking about the BJP. I'm talking about all political parties.
But
so that's kind of sad.
See, what I'm saying is, Swati, suppose you are heading a company, okay? Now you're in control of the company, okay, all the employees and all that. Once these employees, start behaving in a certain manner, you're the boss. You can kick them out, okay? So
Yes.
let me tell you, Modi ji has changed the party completely. Now people are scared to say a lot of things. Now Modi ji has put fear into a lot of them. Now if he wants, he can make it even tighter. And see, because what you and I saw, that video clip where a woman is being kissed and slapped and money stuffed
Okay,
into
I haven't really watched that.
a bust. These things cannot happen. It cannot
it
happen.
happened. It was the BJP leaders who were
BJP,
doing it.
So then Modi ji, if he's listening to this, please Modi ji, please do something about that. Because
नहीं,
Swati
वैसे
and
आप जो कह रही हैं,
like
I
us, we
completely
can
agree
discuss
with
it,
you. हाँ, yes. No, I completely agree with you, because these things tend to trickle down from top to bottom, these messages. तो ये तो है कि if we can talk about other issues, इस पर भी बोलें. It's not about like a general thumb rule कि ठीक है आप ऐसा नहीं करेंगे, but ये तो है कि मतलब बहुत डिफरेंस भी है ना, आप कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं और आप कैसा आचरण कर रहे हैं. तो अगर कोई इंसान ऐसी पार्टीज देखकर अपना एंटरटेन हो रहा है, अपनी सक्सेस सेलिब्रेट कर रहा है, तो उससे कोई ऐसा तो नहीं कह सकते कि महिलाएं बहुत सुरक्षित हैं उस पार्टी में, या उस लीडर के साथ, या फिर उसके लीडर के अंदर जो भी उसका जुरिस्डिक्शन है. वी कांट रियली एक्सपेक्ट कि वहां पर महिलाओं की बहुत सुनवाई भी होगी. तो ये एक जनरल चीज तो है नहीं. आप बिल्कुल ठीक है, मैं कंप्लीटली अग्री विद यू. If our political leaders, even our opposition leaders, they start talking about talking about these issues, and they kind of give these very principled stands. They take these principled stands and speak about these things. Then we can see change. But sadly, ये अभी बहुत missing है. ये बहुत missing है क्योंकि somehow मुझे लगता है कि इस पर भी इन्हें शायद कोई डर होता है कि कुछ कुछ लोग खपा हो जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए.
आप और हम सब बात कर रहे हैं कि ये कभी भी नहीं हो सकता है. नहीं, ये हो सकता है अगर एक लीडर ठीक से सोचे. तो ये सब जिन whatever dignity you need to give the lady can be given by you. Okay, if you can every year spend a birthday with your mother, okay, and eat from her hands simple khichdi, that means you respect your mother. Okay, and mother is a woman. Same thing. From the age of a baby to old age, woman has to be respected. अगर आपके पार्टी में कुछ लोग ऐसे डांस करेंगे और लड़कियों का ड्रेस खींचेंगे, तो
डेफिनेटली
ये तो रॉन्ग मैसेज है।
बिल्कुल रॉन्ग मैसेज है. इनफैक्ट ये तो और भी ज्यादा रॉन्ग मैसेजेस है, बिकॉज यू ऑल्सो क्लेम टू बी अ पार्टी, यू नो, दैट इज काइंड ऑफ रिवाइविंग धर्मा, राइट? तो ये तो आपकी
Absolutely.
तो खैर आपकी तो डबल जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है कि आप ऐसा करें. मीना जी, मैं यहाँ पर ये भी कहूंगी, आई मीन आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड हियर दैट दिस that discourse around sleeves and you know what women want and they should want is kind of missing everywhere. Let's take entertainment. We are already talking about Bollywood. Let's take these stand-up comedy acts, which is, I mean, they use all kinds of cuss words and they objectify women and they mock women, you know, on their body parts, or like, of course, they present women as being very sleazy and all that. I mean, you must have watched that clip of Bhuvan Bam, who is one of the biggest YouTubers in India. So he is generally talking about pahadan chalegi, piche se deti hai. So you know these kind of things, and people are supposed to laugh at it. And the big brands also associate with them for their brand promotions. इस चीज पर लेकिन कोई स्टैंड नहीं लेता है. एक सेकंड, if I please say, I want to say, let's say if you are communal, let's say if you're perceived to be communal, then these brands readily take a stand these days, at least, okay, we won't associate with you since you are kind of, you know, you're a communal figure or you are spreading religious hate and all that. Fine. But when it comes to sleeves and when it comes to abusing women like this, no brand also takes a stand. See, that's because women are also not pressuring them, right? Like there is no real campaign going on against it. I very proudly like to say that at Gems of Bollywood, I and Sanjeev Nevarji, we speak a lot against, you know, this kind of sleazy portrayal of women and this selling of sleeves to women, you know, as a career ambition or as a life ambition. We talk a great deal against it. In fact, because of this, we also face a lot of criticism because people tend to say, "Oh God, don't be a moral police," और तुम तो कुछ ज्यादा ही कर रहे हो. लेकिन हम तो करते हैं क्योंकि we have a principled stand against it. लेकिन ये डिस्कोर्स और कहीं है नहीं. मतलब होना तो ऐसा चाहिए कि अगर कोई इस तरह स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी या फिर कोई फिल्म एक्टर कोई इस तरीके के भद्दे सीन करता है और उसके लिए बाद में माफी भी नहीं मांगता है, यू शुड नॉट एसोसिएट विद द पर्सन.
फिर एक और बात मैं कहना चाहती हूँ स्वाति, कि अगर आप मिनिस्टर ऑफ विमेन एंड चाइल्ड हैं, हाँ, तो आपको क्यों नहीं फोर्स कर सकते हैं कि फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में, आप तो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में ही थे, ओके, आप क्यों नहीं इंसिस्ट करते हैं कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाए जहां एक वुमन को डिग्रेड ना हो, उसको सैलरी टाइम पे दे, ओके, उसका अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्टिफाई करे तो उनका क्वेश्चन करे और उनको जेल में डाल दे. ऐसे कुछ रूल्स बना सकते हैं.
देखिए मीना जी, ये थोड़ी सी
just a second, Swati. Everywhere we see that Smriti is supposed to be a very strong woman pulling up the cause of women. I don't see anything of this sort happening. As a woman and child minister, it is her duty to protect, especially the industry that she has come from. Not one girl is safe in Bollywood or in television or in any film industry in India. Malayalam is terrible. Tollywood is terrible. Tamil, this thing is terrible. Women are exploited. They are killed. It's said as suicide, you know. So women are not protected in films. Why there are no rules for that? Why can't rules be made? Is it so difficult? Okay, it's not difficult, but the only thing is your friends are making these sleazy movies. Okay. The dirtiest movies are Gandhi Baat, being made by Alt Balaji or by Raj Kundra. Okay, and these women are exploited. They're given drugs according to them, and then they are made to do these scenes, and then they sign contracts where they cannot get out of these scenes. So you are supporting.
Veena ji, I slightly not differing with you, but let's say थोड़ा सा मेरे को कुछ कहना है इस पर. Women and Child Minister का actually और भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, स्कीम्स हैं, you know, the general matrix of you know, like ये देखना कि जनरल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन यहाँ पर इतना है, काफी रूरल जगह होती हैं, वो सब तो है. बट भी क्या है कि वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मोर मॉरल इश्यू. नहीं देखिए, जैसे नहीं नहीं, सी अगेन आई एम नॉट डिफेंडिंग हर, मतलब मेरा बस मतलब अगेन आई एम नॉट डिफेंडिंग हर एंड आई रियली डोंट नो द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ अ मिनिस्ट्री एज सच, लाइक इट इज फ्रॉम, मैंने बहुत क्लोज क्वार्टर से तो नहीं देखा है. व्हाट आई मीन टू से इज, अभी आप ट्रैफिकिंग की बात कर रहे हैं तो वो लॉ के अंडर भी हो सकता है, राइट? वो क्राइम का एक मामला है. और ये बात तो सच है कि अगर कोई महिला रिपोर्ट करती है तो वुमेन इज लाइक चूजेस टू फाइल अ केस अगेंस्ट, तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन होता है, ऐसे होता है. See, we are more talking more about a moral question here. I mean, there is an underbelly, yes, but let's say जहां तक क्राइम और उस सिस्टम की बात है, लीगल सिस्टम की बात है, जुडिशियल सिस्टम की बात है, क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम की बात है, वो तो एग्जिस्ट करता है. ऑफ कोर्स उसमें बहुत सारी कमियां हैं, मैं तो खुद इसके ऊपर बहुत रिपोर्ट करती हूँ कि किस तरीके से वो स्टैंड लिए नहीं जाते हैं. बट okay, let me give an example. Like Child Commission, Chairman Priyank Kanungo, he has been taking a strong stand on many of these things. And let me tell you, इससे पहले किसी चाइल्ड मिनिस्टर ने ऐसा किया नहीं है. मतलब अगेन हैट्स ऑफ टू कानूनगो जी कि उन्होंने बॉम्बे बेगम में जब उस लड़की को, एक माइनर एज की लड़की को दिखाया कि वो ड्रग्स ले रही है, और इस तरीके से काफी सीन्स थे उसमें, और ये दिखाया उसमें ऐसे भी सीन्स थे कि लाइक एन एल्डर वुमन is telling this minor girl कि oh what's wrong with prostitution, it's just another profession, तो वो सब उसमें था. तो we approached the commission, और कमीशन ने उनके साथ बहुत हियरिंग की और काफी उनको जुवेनाइल जस्टिस लॉ के अंडर काफी मतलब क्या वर्ड बोलूं, उनको काफी बुक मतलब उसको उसमें काफी केसेस भी हुए इनके ऊपर. दे आर स्टिल फाइटिंग इट, ये जो सीरीज आई थी उसके मेकर्स.
Let me ask you a
हाँ नहीं,
question.
जस्ट इज वन मोर थिंग. तो इस तरीके से और भी हुए हैं. जैसे हमने अभी एक किया था कि एक गाना आया था कि तू अब 16 साल की हो गई है, तू कली लगने लग गई. वो पुष्पा फिल्म का था, पुष्पा फिल्म का हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन वाला सॉन्ग था, इनफैक्ट उर्दू ट्रांसलेशन का. तो उसमें भी उन्होंने स्टैंड लिया था, नोटिस भी भेजा है, वो सब हो रहा है. तो इस तरीके से आई वुड से कि सम ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट दिस गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो डूइंग एंड सम पीपल इन द गवर्नमेंट आर आल्सो डूइंग आर आल्सो समथिंग व्हिच प्रीवियस गवर्नमेंट रियली डिडंट. एटलीस्ट मतलब जैसे मैंने कहा, चाइल्ड कमीशन चेयरमैन में तो एक तरीके से थोड़ा अनप्रेसिडेंटेड ही है जो वो कर रहे हैं. इसी तरीके से विमेन कमीशन में भी, जैसे विमेन कमीशन के चेयरमैन ने भुवन बम वाले क्लिप के ऊपर कॉग्निजेंस लिया है और उसको इनफैक्ट एफआईआर के भी निर्देश दे दिए हैं. अगेन आई मे डिफर अ बिट अबाउट the kind of penalty that should be
Now, let me
levied
ask you
on
a
these
question.
people. But
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, Swati, you have a friend. Okay, you are now you have with Gems of Bollywood. You're doing a big job. Okay, you're exposing a lot here. But those are the principles that you and Sanjeevi are standing with. But if you have friends who are doing exactly the opposite, and you stand with them, so what does
did
that
you
make you?
did
What does that
you
make?
ask me that if our friends are doing that, what stand
Yeah.
we will take?
Yeah. So no, what does that make you? See, you have principles, okay? You are exposing whatever dirt
No,
is
you
there.
have a point. You have a valid point, which
तो
you just
नहीं,
said
यही मैं
about the
बोल रही
Women
हूँ,
and Child
यही
Commission,
मैं बोल
and
रही
I
हूँ.
don't disagree with you in
अगर
general.
see, let me be more clear to because the viewers must understand. Let me be very clear. The number of women and young men who have died and who have been termed as suicide by hanging. Number of people, it is a large number coming from Alt Balaji's TV series. Okay,
अच्छा.
Pratyusha Banerjee. I will give you the whole lot. I have done stories on that. Okay, all these people have been killed, and these people have been termed as suicide. Okay, now the madam producer, who is the Balaji, Alt Balaji, or
Whoa.
Balaji, whatever, she will, of course, pass a statement saying that my condolences. But has she asked a question? Why is this happening? And is this love jihad within television and Bollywood, or whether it is something more? Is it leading to prostitution? Are these girls being made into prostitutes? And if they don't agree, then they are killed. Now, if I have a friend like that, Swati, I have to be very careful. I cannot run Candid Meena and have a friend like that. Because I'm fighting for the cause of women, okay? And I'm telling you that I stand with you. And then I protect someone who has absolutely no idea of what we are talking about and doing the opposite. So please don't tell me that a minister can hold a portfolio and say that she will only do upar se upar, she will do. Okay, whatever she wants to. She may write 100 books, or she make you even write a book about her. So don't. That may be in the future as well. So you can write 100 books about yourself, or get 100 books written about yourself. But if you do not have the sincere passion to do what Indian women actually need, then you are not fit to be a minister of women and child. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, or yesterday, we had Kajal Hindustani. Now she's a very young girl like you, okay, and she is so bold. She doesn't need any paraphernalia. She goes into a crowd, okay, and she starts speaking about love jihad, and she will get millions of followers and millions of people, okay, and she's not scared to name people. This is the kind of leader we want. You know why? Because she goes to schools and institutions and tells them what is love jihad, how it starts. Okay? Be careful, young girls. This is something your parents will not tell you about. Please beware. If these kind of women are not there in society, and if as a very powerful minister, you cannot do anything for women, whether it is in filmdom or in television or the same, it is a big chunk of life that you have cut off from your portfolio.
No, I definitely, see your point, and I hope the needful is done. Actually,
Yeah,
it would be a very good scenario where the political leaders kind of engage in the right kind of discourse and give the right kind of messaging.
Swati,
because right now it's a lot about winning the election.
Yeah, Swati. See, even before this, we look at my old videos. We've done a complete series on these murders which have been termed as suicide, and how Mumbai police has turned their eyes, in the opposite direction.
Okay. I will
and there is a whole
definitely
cabal behind
watch
it,
them.
and everybody knows it. Now, see, when let me tell you as a simple example. Now, as long as my daughter is safe or your daughter is safe, world will go on. That concept has stopped. I have to care for my neighbor's daughter. I have to care for the daughter across, the nation. I have to care for even women who are trafficked in Ukraine. I have to care, and I have to speak out. Otherwise, your role is nothing. See, if we come on stage and say, "Main to itna, a woman with so much of power," what power? Power comes when you protect people as a leader. Don't see.
No, I don't disagree with you, of course. But at least we at Gems of Bollywood are trying our best to get people talk about it, because we believe that if there is a movement from people itself, it will become part of the discourse. Like just how communal this thing became a part of discourse, because a lot of media wrote about it, and that people were mobilized. So we are at Gems of Bollywood. In fact, our main agenda is to kind of start a conversation around this sleaze and trafficking and gender crimes and other kind of crimes in this, in the garb of entertainment industry. If there is, and people also should, reject these easy entertainment, these cheap mode of entertainment for the sake of larger good. It's like for instant titillation, they will just forget what kind of long-term damages.
Yeah. See, for example, someone like Smriti Irani. See, as a person, I don't have anything for her. But if you have a role as a woman minister, okay.
No, I get you.
Yeah. So then,
I probably you should write an open letter to her.
Gems of Bollywood, and you're teaching me the opposite. I can question you. What are you doing?
No, totally. I mean, I did hear a point, and I think you should write an open letter to Smriti Irani. People will also.
I think I've done it in every way, cartoonized it, everything.
But anyway, personally, I won't pinpoint the problem to one person.
I have, I'm a critic, and they say that I'm seeing only her weak spots. Okay, all the glorious spots are being given by PR. You're writing books on her. I'm only seeing that. I'm not saying anything else.
No, I see that. I see that you are like a strong critique, and of course, like you have a point. But even if we do not pinpoint the problem on this one person alone, there is a lot of there's a lot to it in the society also.
It is a minister, and it is a
department. No, it's
And
also the
also, please,
person.
no, please
It's
bear in
also the
mind, don't
person because she also
trivialize it,
has a
Swati.
background.
Swati, don't trivialize it, because it is a minister, and the minister has been voted by us. We are paying her salary, okay? And we want our women protected, okay? That is the only role. We don't
No,
care
no,
whether she
I don't
kisses
disagree with
Mauni
you.
Roy or she kisses Ekta Kapoor. That is her personal choice, okay? This is all her personal.
So,
But
have
when
you
you
written
come into
about it?
office,
Generally asking out of
yeah,
curiosity, have you kind
yeah,
of
when you come
written
into
about it?
office in that official car, and you take your position behind that chair, then you're answerable to the people, the public.
Get it. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think on that note, we'll end this session. Thank you so much, Swati, for joining us, as it was a
Thank
very
you so much,
delightful
Meenakshi,
program.
for having me
And
here.
what you're doing is great. Continue doing it. And my regards to
Thank
Sanjeev.
you. And if I may say the same for you, and I am very now keen to read your work, especially related to Bollywood and trafficking of women. Uh, so, okay, maybe we'll have a discussion about it later on privately.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thanks,
And good night
everyone.
from the viewers as well.
Yeah. Good night. Have
Good
a
night.
great day.
Good night.
Great tomorrow. Bye.